everyone, and welcome back to Skyrim 10 AD. All our players are ready, and they have just entered the catacombs, and they have faced off against a rather nasty Draugr who seem to have some high-ranking military gear on, some armor scraps that the remains of which had indicated that he was a same ranking that would have been in the armor that they found in the mine at Ragthimed alongside its tomb. A more than likely what appears to be from the book that they got would be a captain in modern day, or as it's pronounced in the ancient Nord, restless. But they have now entered into the back of the catacombs where they can hear the calls of a gentleman who seems to be in some sort of form of distress, saying that he is stuck. And you come in this area. Anybody who's having a good look around, did they want to make a perception check? As to anybody?
Yeah, I will do that.
I will.
Ugh, I see nothing. Woof.
Let's see. Perception. 17.
17. Okay, so in this area here, you see that there's right here, across this way, there's a very large, it seems to be a metal door, but it doesn't seem to be fixed. There's no hinges or anything like this. And all around here, there seems to be loads of barrels and like half-broken chests, everything all over the floor. And actually around here in the center of the floor area, you see some blood, but it's dried blood. And what did you roll, Maz?
13 plus 4, 17.
17. Right here, around in this area, is what appears to be loads of disturbed earth. Right at the back, there's loads of boulders and rocks that seems to be blocking off the end of the tunnel, but all around here seems to be very loose soil and seems to be broken up from underneath the ground. And right here you see what appears to be broken hinge of where a door would have been, and you surmise that this door that now seems to be wedged in this area is now blocking off the area from where you hear a voice. And right over here you see a small piece of folded parchment that seems to also have some dried blood on it.
Well, I'd like to pick up that parchment and look at it.
Sure. So, do you have your messenger on there, Victor?
The Facebook Messenger?
Mm-hmm.
I can open it up on my phone here.
Sure. You get this. And you've seen this before, but something seems odd about it. Did you want to... Can you roll an intelligence check for me, please?
Nat 20.
Awesome. You definitely notice something is this, and it's seems to be serendipitous that you were the one who picked it up and managed to see it.
Oops.
So you, after reading through, you start to see this. So from inside, you start to hear bang against the door. I can't move. Is everybody in the town okay? I'm afraid this is all my fault. I came in here and I I heard everything. All these urns were smashed, and I haven't been in here in some while. And I came out the back and heard this rather thing when I noticed that this ancient door that's never been opened in my entire time here was ajar, but it was all jammed and locked in behind. And when I got here, I opened it to see what was behind, and those Draugr started pouring out from in behind here. And he goes, but I managed to scare most of them away, apart from that rather large one. But my arcade did not seem to affect him as much as the others. What would you guys like to do?
So describe the he's trapped behind a door. Is that right?
Yep. So there's this big metal, again, what appears to be an ancient Nord door, right here that seems to be jammed in this way because it just seems to have locked itself in, as if somebody has pulled it forward to try and protect themselves, but now it seems like they can't get out. And you see some scratches on it as if somebody has been battering against it with the hilt of a sword. And it seems to have wedged it in even further.
So are there any... So it needs to come out towards us to be removed. If it's wedged in, is that like you need to pull on it?
Yeah, it could either be pulled on, or you could see if you could try. You don't know what's on the opposite side, whether there's worked stone that's blocking it completely. So you would have to. You don't know what the inside of that room looks like, so you don't know whether it's going to be blocked up. Whether pulling it or pushing it's going to be better.
Is there a handle that we could give it a good pull?
No, there doesn't seem to be any handle on this side at all. It seems to be completely smooth, apart from some light artwork, some streaks and things like that into it. But there's no handles on this side of it.
So I'll just yell through the door. So, Renil, does this door open towards you or towards us?
This door. This isn't a room. It's sort of like just like a worn-out alcove. There is a handle on this side, but it's not affixed to anything. It's just wedged in place. It looks like whatever was in there broke it off its hinges. I managed to pull it towards me and wedge it in between me and them, and I managed to cast a spell for Blessed Arcade to scare most of the Draugr away, but it appears this rather large one paid Arcane no mind, and we kept on hammering on the door trying to get to me. Is everybody else in the town okay? I heard them exiting out into the town. Is everybody else okay?
We killed about a dozen in several bunches, including the big one.
Oh, thank God. Blessed Arcade, should I say? Thank the gods. Bless. Okay. Thank you. I'll try and push it from this end if you want to try and pull, but this room is rather small. I don't think it's fall in this way, so I'll try and push it and you try and pull. So Runel is helping you, so roll a strength check, an athletics check with advantage.
I'm gonna have to get out of the way here so Luke can get up.
All right, so I'm not proficient, but Luke's pretty darn strong. So we'll see if we can. We'll see. So what is strength modifier?
Yeah, athletics, and I believe are you proficient in athletics?
I'm not proficient in athletics. I'm just strong as an ox.
Yeah, so just your strength modifier then. So roll a d20, and you have advantage seen as Runel is helping you.
Okay, woof. So that would only be best 11.
11, no.
Strength mod.
It starts to give a little, but you see it coming, sort of like, some like shavings coming off, and it moves a little in your direction, but it doesn't come all the way. And Runel seems to be still banging on the inside.
So I have a length of rope in my backpack. If we can dig a hole in one side with the sword, and Renil can push it through the other side, we should be able to get leverage on this door and pull it open with all of us.
Okay. So, yeah. Roll, let's see. I would say, Jaguar, roll a dexterity check, see if you can get the sword through a crack in a particular area, and then I'll lower the DC with this plan put into action.
And I will use the guidance cantrip on Jaquai. I'll touch my holy symbol to his hands to bless his dexterity and say a brief blessing of Kinerath. And Ray, what that does, it gives you you can add a D4 to your ability check if you choose to.
Okay. So that makes it a 26.
Nice.
Yeah, so definitely you work the sword in, and you tell Runel on the inside to loop it through the handle that he's got on the stair. It's going to be a big iron ring, so he puts the sword through the ring. So which sword is this? Jaquai, which sword is this that you're working on?
It's the big Draugr sword.
Okay, perfect. So you string it through the inside, and he sort of like ties it off, and then puts it like plants it against the back of the door, so it's now perfectly wedged. So Luke, you can try. So you're all going to be pulling, some of you on the door and some of you on the rope. So again, Luke, if you're taking the lead on this, or whoever is taking the lead on it,
I probably have the highest strength here, 19.
Okay, so you roll.
There we go. That did it. Nat 20. Nat 20 that time.
Okay, so this time, with all the sort of like help of everybody and with the leverage you now have with the sword now turned around, you pull with all your strength, and you actually pull with one hand on the door, on the edge of the door, and one on the rope, and you pull as hard as you can and literally wrench the door right back, and it ends up falling with a giant slam onto the ground, and the rope snaps and pings all across. With the amount of strength and the amount of speed that you pull that through, you think that how delicate a sword is, you think it would have bent or snapped or sort of like at least shown some signs of damage, but this sword just remains perfectly without any damage to it. There's no scratches on the metal, there's no scratches to the hilt after you heard him banging on the thing, but it's very strange. With the amount of power you put behind it, you would have thought it would have taken like at least some damage to it, but the sword just crackles to the ground without any. Runel comes out and he goes, "Oh, thank you so very, very much." Oh, he goes, "Is everybody all right? I used the power that Arcade instilled me to turn the undead, as I said, and it seemed to manage to scare most of them away. I was just surrounded by so many. I didn't know what to do. Are you sure the townspeople are okay? They're not in any danger?"
Seemingly not.
Yeah, we took out all the Draugr that we saw between here and the town.
Bless you. Bless you. He goes, "I don't." Oh. And he leans down at his knees and picks up the sword. He goes, "Why on earth would they bury these things with these people?" And he sort of like hands out the sword to anybody who would take it.
I gesture towards Mouse or Body who use swords. I don't use one.
No, Mouse steps back, wants nothing to do with it.
Body, did you want the sword?
Yeah, sure, why not? Let's pick it up.
Yeah. So he hands you the sword, and he comes out and he goes, "Oh, Koost, are you here?" So Koost ends up coming back in, and he says, "Yeah," and he goes, "Yeah, everybody in the town is fine. Thank you so very much." And he goes, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He goes, "I just don't know what happened. I came in and the place is in total disarray. There was smashed urns everywhere. Some of the fresher corpses seems to be interfered with." And he goes, "And I came out of this back room, and this door seemed to be kind of ajar, and then it had bits of everything all blocking its way, as if somebody was trying to block the door behind it."
Which door? The door that was moved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It usually stays there. It's never been moved. I didn't even know it could be opened. I tried it when I first came here, but I didn't know what it was. And now you see from the opposite side where the handle is, there seems to be a drawing of two heads, some weird large animal heads, sort of like facing each other. And it's very sort of like rudimentary, very basic, but it's got sort of like an eye on either head, and it's sort of like profile on, and they're sort of facing each other. And one large handle at the bottom. But Runa says, "Yeah, it's in all my time here, it's never been able to. Somebody must have been messing around with it down here. I mean, I haven't been down here in months. We haven't had." He goes, "Touch wood," and he touches the table in there. That I haven't had the need of my embalming tools or anything like that for quite a while. So I didn't know he was in this sort of condition. I wonder who would have done such a thing.
So, examining the drawing on the door, anything I noticed with applying my knowledge of Nordic history?
Yeah, you can
and the Nordic language.
Yeah, so there is no lettering on it. It just seems to be this these things. But roll a history check.
This is 23. So if there's anything to be known, I'm probably
This would go all the way back to the Dragon War. This is quite a very ancient door. It seems that the details that this is one of the oldest graveyards and ancient Nords have been buried here is very, very true. This is a very, very ancient graveyard, and it seems that these catacombs are the very small ones that they had here that they thought seems to extend much further, but has long since been, have collapsed in. And you look behind, and as you see, there's loads of disturbed earth on the floor, and then further beyond that, it's all sort of like fallen in with some of it worked stone, and some of it just like depressed rock is all fallen down and blocked away further ahead.
This is in all directions that we can see, excepting the one that we came from?
Yes.
Okay. So off to the left there, it's all blocked?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this darker stone here, where I'm clicking red, that's blocked. Is that right? Am I getting it right?
Yeah, all of this here, it's all blocked off. So around here is loads of disturbed earth.
Right. And then off to the left, is that also blocked?
That's all blocked off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. I just couldn't trim the map.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so effectively we're at a dead end here now that we've gotten Runiel out. Okay.
Did we do like a perception check just to make sure all the dark spaces?
Yeah, so you can roll an investigation check, but with roll an investigation check. So that would be an intelligence modifier.
Let's see. +2. Oh no, 5.
Yeah, a lot of rock. Just a lot of rock, lots of dust. You do see some dried blood, and you.
Dried blood. I forgot about that. Yeah.
You do remember that? Was it you saw Mouse pick up a piece of parchment that he found earlier on?
Correct. We should ask him about that. Yeah.
Mouse is looking distractedly off in the direction from whence we came.
So, Akust turns to Runel and he goes, "We better get to cleaning this place up. If you actually, Kust, can you go and tell the guards that it's safe to come out?" So Kust heads back to the front door and starts banging on it and yelling out to the guards outside the front. And he goes, "It's okay, it's fine, it's safe now." He goes, "The Droger have been dealt with. There's no more." And you hear rattling on the outside, and you hear them unlocking the door, so you can all leave the catacombs. So you can leave Roll20 now, sort of like leave the map. But Kust and Runil stay behind to start the tidy up of the catacombs first before they head out to the thing. So you head outside of the catacombs. What would you like to do?
Oh God, get a pint of ale and rest.
Yeah. Luke is a bit worse for the wear after getting poked by all those Draugr, so a nice rest is definitely in order for him too.
Yeah. Mouse is still a little ashamed at his performance with the whip.
So you all head back to the inn. You come outside, and the guards are like, "It's fine. Is it actually over?"
Well, for now it is.
Oh, well, thank you. Everybody's back at the inn. You can head back there. I think Nenya was. I think she's actually off with the Jarl, but everybody else is back at the inn.
Okay.
So you guys all head back to the inn.
So I'm gonna head back. Is Runil also going back to the inn?
No, he's staying inside the catacombs to start.
I'll actually stay with him and just talk, God shop for a little bit. We'll make some clerical small talk. The one thing, like game related, that I want to ask him is if he has any idea what caused this explosion of Draugr to all of a sudden appear out of his otherwise dead catacombs.
Okay, give me 1 second, actually.
Mouse would actually like to do one thing on his way out as well, but it's just so you know.
Okay, just give me 1 second.
Yep.
Vamp.
Yeah, I had an action I wanted to do. Hold Jaquai aside and say, "Jaquai, remember that dude back in the inn who was sort of bad-mouthing the Dragonborn? I kind of want to get back at that guy. Do you have any ideas, Jaquai? Please think on it, and let's try to come up with an idea eventually here."
Okay, I found my D20
Stick it
in
to
my
that guy.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine box set. So dingo. So 11 plus Runil. What did you have? On history, it's probably a +3. I think so. From what he knows, Runil probably was this. The undead coming back is usually a curse, and it's not actually the corpse. The person who died is not what comes back. What brings them back is false life. So something.
Sorry, Colin. I got booted there for a second. I had to rejoin just as you were about to say the good stuff. Sorry.
He was saying to you that from what he understands, that when an undead comes back, it's not the person who died that comes back. It's that the corpse is instilled with false life. And whatever curse that's been put on it, or whatever it bonded to in life, can bring it back and use its corpse and sort of like put false life into it to bring it back up. So it's not the guy who died. It's something else has put false life into it and using some of its bare-ass memories to keep it moving. So it understands time and can speak a little, but it's not too intelligent. But what would have caused them to rise is obviously if they are from the Dragon War, it's probably something that they have sworn to, and now something that controls, something that owns them, that they were aligned to, is now giving them false life and bringing them back up. But how they got out of the catacombs, he doesn't actually know. As he said, he came in, and it looks like this place has been ransacked by somebody coming in here, and that door had never been opened, but it seemed to have been somehow pried open or something like damaged to be able to get open, and then seemed to want to be closed off.
So we've found a very elaborate tomb of Ragtime the Long-Sighted. Does that name ring any bells for you?
I did. None whatsoever. He goes, my ancient Nord lore is not very strong. I know that the Dragon War happened, but I have no knowledge of its history. I've never researched it, never looked into that much deep into its history, I'm afraid.
Mouse would like to show Runel a picture he found and then ask him if he recognizes it.
A picture?
Yeah, a symbol. On a piece of parchment.
And what was the symbol?
It looks like fish.
No, sorry, I don't recognize it.
Okay. He doesn't show it to anybody else. No.
Oh, okay.
I trust Runel. Not that I don't trust you, Luke.
Very well.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
After I finish my small god talk with Runel, I'll head back to the inn.
Mouse would also like to investigate the armor of the Earthless Drago, and compare that to his picture as well. Are there any symbols that match? Do I need to roll anything for that?
You do recognize that on the shoulder pads. Roll an investigation check as you're checking over the entire corpse, and you can roll that with advantage, seeing as you're searching through the entire body.
8 plus would be investigation 12.
12. So you have a cursory look and sort of like you pat them down. You do find sort of like on the armor that the same symbol on both the keep on calling them shoulder pads, but they're
epaulets or pauldrons, yeah. Okay.
On his armor, and it's the same symbol that you saw on the pauldrons of the animated armor back at Ragtime.
Right. Mouse recognized that, but he's looking to see if it looks like the symbol he sees on this piece of parchment that he picked up.
No, it doesn't match any symbol like that. You also have a look in sort of like in like a little pouch. You find a very small, rectangular and angled crystal, and it seems it's very strange. You don't actually see. Roll a history check. See if you do have a varied past.
Yeah, I have no advantage. Nothing. That's 3.
tree. Yeah, you can't place it. It looks like a very nice crystal. But are you guys all waiting together, or have you separated? Are other people standing there watching?
I think Luke is headed back already, right?
Well, so when I assumed that your conversation with Runil was when you wanted to be private. So at that point, I headed back. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you find this crystal on the body on its own. Give me 1 second. So you guys head back to the inn. Give me 1 second, Victor, if you want to check your messenger again, and you guys talk amongst yourselves. The guys that are heading back to the inn, just for a second. Give me a second. Yeah.
So, Buddy, I suggest that you put some ground skeever fur in his armor plates. And
where might we procure that? Is there a is there a potion shop in town, or someone who sells ingredients around? Or do you eat skeever, Kitty?
Who doesn't?
Yuck. Do you have any extra pelts on hand? Dried skeever pelts?
No, I do not keep it on hand.
Mouse, if we're all sort of still in if you guys are heading away and I can sort of hear the conversation, I would just call to you both. Look for some imp stool.
Imp stool. I sometimes see that around places of trees and such. Correct, around.
Cowards! Catacombs!
As we leave, we should look and see if there's any imp stool to pick up here. What are we going to make with the imp stool?
Oh, it's just a good ingredient for irritating things and stopping things in their tracks.
So, you all head inside the inn there, and you see Skullnar still with his weapon out. Also, Fjokli is there as well. Also, the bard. And you also see Matthias and his wife are there too, and everybody seems to be back. Nenya is not there though, but Solaf is, and that's pretty much it. Oh no, you do see a Thadgear as well. Thadgear is the only one you recognize, Mouse. There's no. Oh, and the barmaid as well. She is also there. Forgotten her name.
So Mouse just says, "Hey Thad, how you doing?" And looks at the rest of the guys and says, "Hey, I got an errand to run. I'll see you in a few." And he walks off down towards the gates, the southern gate of Falkreath.
Okay. So Mouse says he's just going to head out, and he leaves the inn. You see Luke, Botti, and Jaquai. You're in the inn right now. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Did we remind me? Did we get a room?
You can.
For all we've done for these guys, they should put us up until we're ready to leave.
I mean,
I just don't remember if we already let a room for tonight.
No,
we did get comped last night.
Yeah.
Anyway. So apparently, we didn't get what. So I'm gonna go to the innkeeper and ask a room because I need to go take a short rest based on how banged up I am and tend to my wounds a little bit.
Yeah. What time is it?
Right now, it was pretty dark. It's getting pretty late out. You were going to say, I believe you were getting some. You were thinking about heading to Whiterun, and you were asking her to get some supplies ready for the next morning. But you were going to stay the night.
All right. Well, can I work on helping getting those supplies ready while?
I think we bought some. Didn't we pay for some supplies?
We bought supplies. Yeah. I just couldn't remember if we had a room for tonight. So
yeah, when probably not, because when we came out of the shop, we were ready to leave.
Okay. And we saw the drugger. Okay, so Luke needs to rest, or I can cast a healing spell upon him if we just wanted to roll on to Whiterun.
Well, but if it's late, we should probably sleep here.
All right, let's take a nap.
Morning.
It's like, as to Jaquai's point, Buddy, you probably shouldn't need to buy a drink tonight. Somebody should probably pick up your tab.
So we still don't know what time it is. Did we?
Yeah, it's probably about 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
Given the lateness of the hour, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to go turn in and make it a long rest rather than bothering to do a short rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jaquai as well.
Yep.
His hands are tired.
Buy me a drink. Let's hit the sack.
All right.
So, just for so Mouse, what are you doing? You were outside at the thingy, and you're out at the south gate.
Yeah, Mouse went out of the south gate, and he's going to just he needs to be by himself for a little while. He's going to walk down the road a ways and find a spot in the woods there and camp and think, and he'll be back early in the morning before anybody else is up.
Okay. So you all take a night's rest.
Mm-hmm.
And what you found in there in the inn is you found what seemed to be a very long letter, and it was just written in, it seemed like junk jargon and just crap, but in all of this, in this letter, in all this junk, you found the hidden code, and it turns out that this letter is what was hidden inside all of that junk. So this letter here you found, this is what was written on that piece of parchment.
The letter that I have.
The letter that you have.
Yes.
What's written here is what's in it, but it's written in Thieves' Cant, because what I'm seeing now, because I didn't notice it in Messenger, what first got sent to you wasn't what was supposed to be sent to you.
Oh,
it was supposed to be, so it's supposed to be this long excerpt that just went on for ages, but didn't actually say anything. It was from...
hence my confusion. I see. Okay.
So it was basically a gentleman's guide to what was supposed to be you're getting was a gentleman's guide to Whiterun. And then hidden inside that, because different things were placed in different places, you were able to decipher between it because of your history, and you found this letter hidden inside that book, and this was the letter that was hidden inside it.
All right. Well, this is what Mouse determines during the evening as he's camping on his own. He's lit a small fire and he's studied this and finally realized that in fact what he was reading, which seemed to make complete sense, but he thought it was in Cant, is actually not in Cant, but it does make complete sense.
This is exactly what is the Cant. This is. What the story is. So,
he was confused there for a moment.
I wasn't sorry. I didn't give you something to try and decipher.
But now he's figured it out.
Sorry about that. That was my bad. Well, you got that instantly when you were reading that, when you were looking at the letter in the thing. So if you want to, you can sort of like, retcon that as if you've walked out of the crypts with that knowledge already.
Okay.
So it's up to you whether you want to continue go on camp outside or if you want to come back.
No. I do. Mouse still needs some time on his own, but he'll come back in the morning and we'll discuss this with the group.
Okay, so perfect. So you all get a night's sleep, and very sorry about to all my other players and the listeners for that bit of music miscommunication. I should be better organized. But we will move on. So you all wake up the next morning, and the place seems to have cleared out. The other patrons have gone home. The only people that you find, you don't see Nari anywhere. She's probably off sleeping. Thadgear is gone. Skullnar is not there. And Mouse, you walk in. The only one that seems to be up is Delacourt, who's kind of like... he's sitting there. He's got some parchment out. And he seems to be writing, and he's got his drum next to him, and he's slowly tapping it, and he's writing on some parchment. And he sort of like looks at you, and he goes, nods your head, and sort of like gives you a big smile, and then he sort of like gets a piece of parchment and covers over the parchment that he was writing on.
Well, I go look for the rest of the party members.
The party members now with their new room have now been moved to the larger room where all the miners seem to be congregating. I've now left to go off to back to the mine, and you enter in there. You do have some privacy. There's no door, but it's far enough away from everybody that nobody seems to be there.
Yeah, I say, morning, everybody. Looks like you're in the bridal suite.
Morning, Mouse.
Everybody else awake? Body?
I'm just finishing my meditation to draw my key back into my body.
As in catnap?
Oh.
I'm not catatonic.
As if he hasn't heard them all before.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like organ jokes.
Body gets super offended that everyone laughed at that.
I told you, buddy. I thought it was funny, but nobody else did, including the Draugr. I'm sorry. By the way, which tree were you referring to? Mouse looks at them all and sort of gestures to gather close and sits down on the edge of one of the beds and says, so I found this piece of parchment while we were in the catacombs last night. And at first I wasn't sure what it meant. It seemed straightforward, and I thought it was far less than straightforward. But as I meditated over it last night, I realized that it is simply as it is. And here's how it reads. 10th of Evening Star. Hey, D. That's just the letter D. As I said in my last letter, this is definitely where all that moon sugar was going, and they're definitely making skooma with it, but something's not right. They're not selling any of it. That bald prick, Broto Hetelius, keeps recruiting more and more guys and forcing everyone into taking it. It was never quite my thing, but to keep appearances up, I partook, and now I can barely think straight. Okay, next. 15th of Evening Star. The guys that were transporting the takings to the boss, that's in quotes and capitalized, returned today with more skooma and some new guy who's about the size of your average bear, but with less hair and bigger arms. Broto didn't get more than 2 words out before the big fella started crying. Turns out the kid's just turned 16 and fresh out of HH. You should have seen the look of glee on Broto's face. If it hadn't meant my death, I would have gone for him right there. The guys that showed up said that the boss, again capitalized and in quotes, wants a shit ton of nightshade, and that I was to go with them to get them in and out of Falkreath Cemetery without being seen. This may be my shot at getting away and back to the guild, but I can't leave the kid. I'll try and sneak him out when I get back. I just got to make sure we don't get pinched when I'm in Falkreath, because those guys will sing straight away, and if they send the guard in, they'll kill everyone, including the kid, or worse. He, in quotes and capitalized, will show up and make good on his promise, and no one, not even Brotto, deserves to have, quote, his soul wrenched out and banished to oblivion, unquote. Hopefully I'll get out and you won't have to read this. But if not, give what I have coming to Mrs. M. Thanks, L. What do you think? And then he shows, particularly to Luke, he shows the symbol that's also attached to that.
Do we recognize it? Have we seen the symbol? I was a little lost. Have we seen that symbol before?
I don't know.
But we haven't seen it in our defined adventures here. So
not that I know of.
Okay, so I will. Colin, can I attempt a history check on that?
No, the symbol was a mistake. It went through instead of the letter that I was supposed to send through.
Okay, I thought it was. Apologies, yeah. I thought it was still attached. Okay,
no, that's right. It's text. So, yeah. So he reads through that and he says that this bald prick Broto Hetelius, and this is the boss. Just give me 1 second. Roll a history check, please. I would have to say, give it. No, my mind's gone. It's Mouse. Mouse, roll a history check.
History check. Mouse is not good at history. 8.
No, it's a very, very easy DC because there are rumors. The last bit of the text where it says if he shows up, and then especially not the wrenched part, you haven't heard it put that way before, but you've heard a few rumors, and you think you might know the location.
I'm wondering if perhaps we're talking about Helgen.
You remember that quite some years ago, even after the what happened at Helgen, people or bandits and the like would set up shop there, and other nefarious people, and the Dragonborn took a severe dislike to that, and from about 3 or 4 years ago, there's a rumor going around that ever since then, no bandit, no necromancer, nobody of ill intent has ever set foot in Helgen since. That if anybody goes there, a rumor going that if they go anywhere near Helgen to try and dishonor the memory of the people who died there, they're getting banished to oblivion. And that's the rumors that you've heard from other bandits and other places.
Okay. So I will pass that on. Do you the rest of the party, you guys don't know where Helgen is, do you? Or have any of you looked at the maps to see where Helgen is?
But you know of Helgen. You don't exactly know where it is in the map, but you know it's definitely in Falkreath, and you know the history of Helgen as well. You know what happened there. You know the story very well.
What I know of just relates to the Dragonborn because his journey began there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I know of Helgen is all in relation to the Dragonborn.
And I would have some general knowledge about the old Helgen, but this Dragonborn recent history is just boring, and I don't care anything about that. So,
I'll just give me a second. As soon as he's
Body launches into a 12-verse story about the dragon. Wherever he goes.
Mouse just sort of looks down at the floor and picks his nose. And finally, after the 8th verse, gets up and walks out of the room.
So Jaquai follows him because he has very sensitive hearing as well.
Oh my!
And asks Mouse if Helgen is on the way to Whiterun.
Yes. We can. There are 2 ways to get to Whiterun from Falkreath, and Helgen is one of the ways. It's slightly out of the way, but yes, we can pass through Helgen on the way to Whiterun. Actually, there's 3 ways to get to Whiterun, but certainly one of them would be near Helgen. Do you guys want to go to Helgen? It's not a happy place. A lot of horrible things happen there.
It sounds, from that note, it sounds like horrible things may be happening there again.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Body is a historical context, but do we, as a good party, need to check in to see if we can help this unfortunate situation at all, or what do you think? We need to check in, see if we can help in this situation.
I'm willing to go.
Yeah, Jaquai is concerned that you guys are thinking that, and he wants to go to Whiterun to try to meet up with Rasad.
Well,
but he also doesn't want to leave the party behind.
So I think if we go to Whiterun first, Mouse, how much time does that add to the journey?
Well, it's immaterial, Luke. I mean, we can go to Helgen one way or the other. I think I think that considering our companion Jaquai and his quest to find his I think that's at this point perhaps more important, and it's not that far from Whiterun to Helgen. It's about the same distance from Falkreath to Whiterun as a little farther from Falkreath to Whiterun as it is from Whiterun back to Helgen. So I don't see any reason to worry one way or the other. We can go.
You will remember, Jaquai, that Rasad is not in Whiterun. Rasad is in Dragon's Reach.
Oh, I thought they said that he stopped in one of the places that he stopped is Whiterun.
No, he. What you've been told is that Rasad has now set up his own business, a very, very successful business, and he's now the proprietor of that. It's called the. I believe it was the Khajiit Traders.
So why did I want to go Whiterun?
That's where one of the because the Khajiit caravans used to go through Falkreath, but they don't anymore after the little situation. So one of the Khajiit caravans does go through Whiterun. You can't be 100% sure that when you get there, they're actually going to be there when you come through.
Okay, excuse me, just not to be terribly meta about it, but you did say Dragon's Reach, but you meant Dragon's Bridge, correct?
Dragon Bridge, yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so... well, as Jaquai is muttering to himself and remembering this, Mouse will just interject. Well, if it's the case of Dragon's Bridge, then we do have a much larger choice to make because
that is the opposite direction. Are there carriages to be hired in the area, or is this a hoof it situation?
At the moment where you are now, there is some horses that you saw out the back of, was it small amount of horses grazing at the back of the Smith area. There was some fields and some hay laid out and things like that, but there is no carriage. There does seem to be there's a carriage to hire.
Well, Mouse would know very well that there are carriages to hire in Whiterun, so we could go there, and I think that's Mouse would say to the group, Dragon's Bridge is far to the north, and is many days' travel from here. We could go to Whiterun and
Dragon Bridge. You're probably looking around about 3 weeks to get to Dragon Bridge.
Okay, 3 weeks. All right. So we could perhaps we should go to Helgen on the way to Whiterun to get a carriage to Dragon Bridge. Does that sound like a practical solution to this? Because the way to get to Dragon's Bridge from Falkreath by road, there are no carriages to be had between here and Dragon's Bridge, unless we go to Whiterun.
Seems right to me.
Mouse knows the roads well enough.
Jaquai?
That sounds like a good plan to me.
All right. Well, then we're going to go out the eastern gate of Falkreath.
Okay. We'd like to end it there. Or did you guys want to continue making this a 2 episode? Because I know you've got to go in about, was it about 20 minutes, I think?
20 minutes, yeah. I'm good to go 20 minutes if we want to go maybe to our first campsite or something. Either way. Either whatever's better for the group.
See if we find anything up the road.
So, we can go to the Gate of Helgen. We can head up there. I since Mouse does know the roads pretty well, he does know that between Falkreath and Helgen, the road is rather infested with bandits, and he's going to warn the group of that fact right here and now. So, hey group, the road's infested with bandits.
Say
we're well armed, alert, with a side eye at body on the alert.
Luke,
Shut up.
Luke says, "Mouse, remind me not to use my whip, please."
Put a little salve on that. Put a little salve on that scar. It'll.
If
heal
I reach
better.
for it and I'm near you, just give me an elbow to the ribs, please.
Maybe somebody at Dragon's Bridge can train you to use that.
Yeah. I am not Indianatus Jonesiensis, who is my ancient Imperial ancestor.
So you guys, last night you set up to get some traveling supplies from. I've forgotten her name now.
Not Nari. It's
What is it? Wasn't it that Soloff Joker?
Valga.
Valga, yeah.
She got Valga, so she gets it. I believe you didn't pay yet. She said she would sort it all out and then you would pay this morning.
Okay.
When you collect them. So so she's got some plenty of supplies there. You said for, I believe, a week. I think you said supplies. So you're probably looking at, with dried meats and everything like that, probably about 5 silver, I would say.
That's a piece.
No, I'd say total. I would say what rations are.
So that comes out of our shared gold, which we have 44 at the present.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's jumps to 5 silver. And Volga says, thank you very much, and thank you very much for the help last night. That was incredibly brave of you. Thank you so much. You might want to go and check in with Nenya. I know she had lots of great things to say about you last night while she was talking to the others.
Nice.
Really glad you came by. So.
Nos looks at Volga and waves. Thank you, ma'am. It's good to see you again.
You too, Max. Have a good one.
So we're going to go see Nenya?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So is Nenya in the Jarl's longhouse?
Yeah, so if you want to head over there.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so you head over to the Jarl's longhouse and you hear the slight ting-ting as you see the blacksmith lord outside and gives you just holds the hammer up strong, sort of like, flexing his muscles with it. Sort of like gives you guys a nod of the head. Puts it back down as you head across and head into the Jarl's longhouse. You open the door and you look ahead, and ahead again is that really large fire that's still burning. Plenty of wood on it. Seems like there's some fresh wood. You see, Nenya on the left there, and at the back, sitting in a chair right at the back, you see this. Nord male, probably in his sort of like mid-40s. A rather rotund man with a very ornate clothing on and a gold and green with a gold circle on and a green jewel in the center of it, sitting on the chair. And you recognize him as Jarl Sidgir. And just to the right, you have Halvard. You also know is his house car. By the way, Mouse, you start to get a bit of a headache.
Yeah. And I also kind of sidle off to the left and stay in the shadows.
You see him as the alternate. Here they are now. Come forward, all of you, come forward. And this is rather rotund Jarl, with a couple of wine stains down the front of his rather ornate clothing. Come forward. And he goes, we say thank you for the service you've done to this great hold. And the smell of wine seems to waft off in a billowing thing. So, and then you like that, and Ushers all come forward and sort of like peeks around to you, Mouse, and sort of like waving you forward, things like that. And she goes, I was just telling them about all the help you've been doing recently, and especially about last night. Thank you so very much. We've spoken to Runil. He's been by this morning. I'd just like to say thank you so very, very much. He's told me of all you've done and all the help you get, and he was ever so apologetic for putting the down in danger, but with your help we managed to get through it. Thank you so very much. I've also informed this is by the way, rude, this is Jarl Sidgir of Falkreath. Jarl Sidgir, this is I am sorry, I don't know all of your names. I know Luke. You've actually just introduce yourselves.
Since you said my name, I'll nod the Jarl. Luke Icewalker at your service.
Greetings. And he's looking at the young female. And you maybe?
My name is Body. Hello. It's an honor, sir.
Greetings. Welcome to Falkreath, and thank you for your help, young lady. And we have. And he looks at Ninu. It's kind of whispers, traveling. What the problems we have? And she goes, no. This is my very good friend Jaquai. And he looks over to you.
Greetings.
Greetings. Thank you.
I am a monk. I'm not a trader.
I didn't know you had such things down there, and the young man that is.
And Mouse steps forward slightly from behind Luke and kind of leans casually against Luke's shoulder, stares at the Jarl and says in a neutral voice, "Your Excellence." And then looks down.
The young man. Yes, you've been around sometimes. A real heavy group, and you see his eyes are kind of glazed over. The alcohol's they're definitely, full on rage. First thing, 7:00 in the morning. And because so it was a rather heady group. No wonder those undead bastards didn't stand a chance. I'd just like to say, on behalf of all the people of this great hold, I'd like to extend my thanks to all of you all, and our reward is enough. I believe, isn't it, Nenya? Definitely for assistance of that nature, we definitely have to. And she goes, definitely. I've prepared something, but they're also trying to help us out with this skooma problem we seem to have. They're going to try and get out there and try and help, but I think it may be kind of redundant. The gentleman we have in the cell passed away late last night. But I still would like them to explore maybe the possible source of the skooma. I'm hopeful that they'll be able to bring us some information on whereabouts it's coming from and what to do about it. And the Jarl is sort of like, he goes, yes, most definitely, this is of a great worry. And he seems to sort of like look off, and it's sort of like a little bit of a stare for a second. Yes, definitely got to get something done about that. So Nenya runs off, and she goes to head into the side, or back upstairs to where you believe her room is. She's got her enchanting table and things like that up there. It seems to be rooted around in a chest. Just like standing there in front of the Jarl, and everything seems to be kind of awkward silence.
Well, Mouse is going to back away again as the Jarl is kind of looking off in the other direction.
Yeah, he seems to nod off, and he's sort of like, well, thank you again, and sort of like Nenya seems to come downstairs, and she goes, if you'd like to come with me. She comes downstairs and then moves off into the side room, and she goes, I'm just going to go through the boring stuff and get them to like sign off and stuff. And he goes, yep, whatever, and sort of like kind of leans into a bit of a a lazy man snooze against the side of his throne. And she invites you to come into the side room.
Okay.
Following in you.
Yep. Mouse was already at the entrance looking at the map on the table.
Yep. So Mouse on there. It's got some. It's now covered in little tiny red flags. Some of them seem to have fallen over. And you do see some blue flags that seem to be lying down on their sides. But they seem to be scattered in a disorderly way, as if they're not rightly rightly joined. But she turns around.
The little coating of dust on them. Yeah.
Again, I'd just like to say thank you to that. He wanted to meet you and thank you personally for all the service you've done, and hopefully the help. And she looks to you, the help that you're going to provide in the future to Kwai. And again, thank you for that. But last night was just such a tremendous help. If you hadn't been here, I'm sure everything would have been okay, but I don't think we would have gotten through so unscathed with just some minor scrapes and bruises. And thank you so very, very much. You have my deepest thanks, and you will always be a true friend to me and to the people of Falkreath. This is just a small way of saying thank you very much. And she has a little small pouch. She hands it over to you, to whoever's front up there, probably the closest to her. And who would that be? Probably be Mouse.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Luke seems to always be in front.
You said you were closest to the door. You were heading.
Yeah, I was already sort of standing in the doorway.
So she hands you this small pouch, and it's kind of light. It doesn't actually feel like it's like you don't feel like the jingle of coins. It's got some weight to it, but there's no actual jingle to coins. You have a quick feel of it, and you feel what feel like rocks inside this little pouch. That's just a small thank you to all of you, and thank you very much for all you've done. And I'd just like to say that if by any chance you do have to come over information about, I'm afraid the gentleman last night did pass away, but I am deeply worried about this situation.
Mouse just says, "I'm sorry, ma'am. What was his name again?"
His name was Lemkins.
Lemkins. Yes.
We're not 100% sure. He used to use different pseudonyms like Eric and Adam, Kevin and Ken. But, the one that he used the most often was Lemkins. We believe that may have been his true name. But if you do find anything that could help, any information, there should be a direct courier service in Whiterun that you'll be able to contact to send a courier through. If it is of a serious nature, I'm going to give you this, and she hands you a sealed letter. And again, she hands it to the nearest person, which would be you, Mouse. And she goes, if it is of an extreme urgency, take this letter to, well, it depends on where you are. If it is in Whiterun, there is a rather magnificent wizard there in Dragon's Reach. If you pop into Dragon's Reach, the Jarl's Palace, and ask for an appointment to see the keep's living wizard. His name escapes me at the moment.
I know him. Mouse mutters.
And he would be able to get a message to me instantly, but at a greater cost. But this letter here will nullify it and will make that the holder Falkreath would pay for that, and he would be able to receive that coin from us, so he wouldn't have to pay directly. But if it's not needed, if it's just a general sort of like, hello, how are you, sort of like, is your sort of like, you know, getting a good night's sleep, they just send a courier. But if it's an extreme nature, or please get in contact with again, I've forgotten his name, but he should be in Dragon's Reach.
It's Farengar, ma'am. Can I ask you if can we do this with any of the court wizards, or is it just Farengar that has this skill?
Yes, definitely Farengar. Yes, nearly all. I'm not familiar with all of them. I mean, we do have weekly updates. That's all coordinated through the College of Winterhold. So once a week, they communicate with each other, and the court wizard, I forget her name. Oh, why can't I remember her name? So it's the young wizard at Winterhold, and she contacts me once a week for any serious information. And due to the spell and nature that is too complicated for me to cast, I can send a few words back to her, and if any of serious urgency, they could probably, you know, if there was an emergency of like a dragon attack or sort of like instant death or anything like that, somebody could be teleported directly here to investigate on this, if anything of a serious note. So yeah, we're pretty much all connected. We are great and honorable hold, maybe not the largest, so the Jarl doesn't seem to require the services of a mage of Winterhold. He says that my experience is good enough for Hold, and I tend to agree with him.
Thank you, ma'am. I would agree as well. You're a credit to the Hold of Falkreath.
Thank you, young man.
Mouse, did I overhear you say Farengar?
I said Farengar.
You recognize that name?
I know that perks my ear. Everyone who knows the Dragonborn text from early on, from Tales of, what was it, some stone or something, but everyone speaks of the exuberance of Farengar.
Mouse just looks down and snorts. And then looks up and says, "Body, you have no idea."
So, guys, I'd like to say thank you very much. Oh, sorry, Jaquai.
I was just going to say, guys, we need to go.
So, with that, you guys make your exit, and we will call that an episode. Sorry, it's only 2 episodes this year, but I went on a bit longer than I thought. With the combat, I'm going to have to see if I can try and sort those out. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. And hopefully it won't be too long till our next Skyrim 10 AD adventure. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thanks everybody.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you for downloading this edition of Skyrim 10 AD. Email the show at skyrim10ad@gmail.com. For more information, please visit asapodcasting.com, where you will find a Skyrim Addict podcast, the Fallout feed, and our Amazon link, which benefits the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Find our social media in the show notes. Thanks for listening.
Skyrim 10 AD would like to thank Tabletop Audio for the use of their music in this podcast. If you would like to find more music like this, just go to tabletopaudio.com for more information. Thank you.